Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskey. Look at this nice little thing here I got. Doo-doo-doo. It looks like a Christmas present, doesn't it? My wife loved these little things to give presents in. But this is the official packaging here for Annandale. This is the Man of Sword. Man of Sword means unpeated. The Man of Man of Word is unpeated. The Man of Sword is peated. So that's how they look. And what I did is I actually bought a second set of bottles because I want to buy a cask from Annandale. I need to have a little bit of research here. So these are bourbon cask matured whiskeys. Now I have already done a video, and I'm going to use this as my comparison for the Man of Sword. This is 2017. This is 2015. This is an STR cask, shaved, toasted, and recharred. Those are Portuguese red wine barrels that actually Dr. Jim Swan invented. Now we have a Dr. Swan and Dr. David Thompson. Dr. David Thompson started at the Annandale Distillery. Well, started is a little bit wrong. Actually, the distillery was in operation from 1836 until 1918 when it was closed. And so Dr. David Thompson resurrected this distillery and this brand to life. And I am doing a comparison here. This was, as I said, STR 2017, 99 euros. This is 2015, so this is 5 years old. This is cask number 537 with 59.3%. Whiskey base number 171851, and this is 139 euros. So if we look at the value of money per year, this at 3 years and 99 euros is basically 33 euros per year. If we look at this at 139 euros, at 5 years, we're talking about a little bit under 30 euros. So this is a cheaper whiskey per year, even though it's 40 euros more. So the interesting thing about Annandale is back then they used to be actually a peated whiskey. They do have the peated version and they do have the unpeated version. And what they did is actually they set up a system that they have two different systems for storing and distilling the whiskeys while using the same pot stills. So we have a German distillery over here called St. Kilian. I've mentioned them before, and what they do is they have a season. They in the summer they distill the peated whiskey, in the winter they distill the unpeated whiskey. And so what they do is they have to clean everything out, and it takes actually a few different. They have to do a couple. They have to distill a couple whiskey sessions, days before actually all the peat is out of the system, and there's a transitionary period. What they did here at Annandale is they can actually switch very quickly they of course have to clean the pot still. They have a watch still with 12,000 liters, and they have two spirit stills with each 4,000 liter to give more copper contact, to give a more fruity, a better spirit. Macallan uses the same system, by the way. And what they do is then afterwards they put the spirits into different holding tanks, and there's different piping and all that. Was a pain in the butt, I'm sure, to actually develop and install, but Annandale has a great system to do that. All right, very, very good. And what they're going for is a very fruity spirit. This is a fruity, fruity whiskey. All right, on the nose, the bourbon. I get apricots, peaches, coconut, vanilla. Very, very nice. STR. It's got a lot more of a red type of a fruit cocktail moment. It's got that cherry in there. It's got a little bit of a raspberry in there. Over here, I get more of a honey melon, a watermelon, a cantaloupe. Over here, I'm getting more of the raspberries, maybe some strawberries, and I'm getting a little bit more of a wood moment. I think the STR casks have more tannins that come through there. I gave this actually, I think, a 2, which is a B, I'm sorry. And in my German video, I gave this a B minus. Ooh, 2 years older, and yet it's not as good. Why? Because of the cask. And this is the important thing for me, is what I'm doing is I'm taste testing by buying the bottles and sharing them with people that are also going to be part of the cask share program to say which one we like better. Do we like the STR better, or do we like the Ex-Bourbon cask better? I could also do a sherry, but I think a fruity spirit doesn't need to be even fruitier because of sherry. Personal opinion, hey, I might be wrong. And then I'm going to actually compare it to two separate Man of Swords with the peated versions to see if we're going to buy a unpeated or a peated cask. I'm not a peat head, but I actually like the peated better with the STR cask, so we'll have to see. All right, let's try this. 59.3, as I mentioned, we're at 62.1 over here. We do notice the angel share takes off about 1 point per year, basically. Goes into the cask at 63.5%, standard. Nice nose. A lot of melon, a lot of fruit, a lot of coconut. Very, very nice. Cheers. Mm. Mm. Oh, there's heat. A lot more heat than I expected. Now, I tried this 62.1%, and I was amazed at how little heat was actually involved in this. That's why I was expecting the same thing here. Not really. Unfortunately, apparently, the bourbon casks do not accelerate, that's the word I'm looking for, the maturation of the whiskey as much as an STR cask does. And that's very important for me as well, because I'm not going to let the cask sit for 18 years. This is going to be a 5 to 8 year project here. And then I want to have a great whiskey after 5 to 8 years. And after 5 years, I'm going to say that the bourbon cask is not perfect yet. After 3 years, the STR cask was even better. All right, let's just make the comparison here and find out if I'm right or not. Don't get me wrong, good stuff. Oh, by the way, there's actually 2014 bottles out there as well. Very, 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 very rare. 350 euros per bottle at the moment because they just started distilling in 2014. Those are some of the very, very first experiments they did at all, and these are collector items. If you do get an Annandale 2014, I would say don't open it. Keep it, sell it, and make a profit off of it. Do buy the 2015s. If you can find a 16 or a 17, go for those, try those, and see what's going on there. Very, very interesting distillery. I think it's an excellent, excellent concept that they have here. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Mm. It's very interesting. There's less heat in the STR 3-year-old than in the ex-bourbon 5-year-old. I'm learning. Of course, many people will say, of course, Jason, don't you know that yet? No. That's what's so important about these comparisons, that I actually can learn and I can actually find out things. Many of us have not had the opportunity to work with young distilleries and understand what goes on in a cask with 3 or 5 years. We're maybe very good at being able to say, oh, the 12-year-old should have done this and the 18-year-old should have done that. But to be at this very, very cutting edge of these new distilleries and getting great whiskey for fairly expensive prices, it's very interesting to see what's possible and what's not possible. And for some reason, I'm sure people that are smarter than me could tell me, the STR casks do a wonderful job of rapidly or more rapidly maturing a whiskey than maybe just a first fill bourbon cask. All right, what we're going to do to make these comparisons fair is going to dilute them both down to around 50% and see what happens. The coconut and the peaches just popped on this, and the red fruit just was amazing, and the delicate and the non-burning of this whiskey after only 3 years still amazes me. I'm just blown away. All right. The bourbon cask, cask number 537 versus, as I said before, cask number, maybe I haven't, 321. Like the smell? Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Nice. 50% is actually for me the sweet point here, maybe 52. Gets rid of all that alcohol bite. There's enough alcohol that still supports and still helps, but it's no longer, for me at least, distracting. The coconut comes through more. I'm sure the coconut comes more from the bourbon cask. I'm sure Dr. Don Livermore up in Canada would say, Jason, no, that's this ester or this molecule or whatever. But it's more there. Peaches, coconut, very, very nice, very, very light, bright, fruity. All right, going over to STR cask. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Getting more of a berry, more of a strawberry, more of a raspberry, much less of the coconut, much less of the peaches. Also good. Wow. At 50%, I'm not sure really which one I would choose. Both are very, very good. At cask strength, the STR wins, hands down. But with diluting it a little bit, it loses a little bit of its uniqueness. The bourbon cask actually peaks, shines at the 50%, and the STR cask Man Award shines at its barrel proof 62.1%, cask number 321, bottle number 127, and bottle number 22, by the way. Wow. Also here, you should be able to see a difference. One second, let's do this correctly. If I do this, you should be able to look at the difference in the colors here. Yeah, exactly. You can see the bourbon cask here. You can see STR cask here. That is amazing, the difference with just the cask. 3 years, 5 years. Virgin Oak STR. All right, so very, very nice. As I said, this is research being done here for my cask choice. Probably the end of January 2021, maybe beginning of February, I'm going to buy a cask and share it with about 30 people over here in Germany. What we do is we take 30 shares, and then I keep maybe about 10 myself, and then they get about 20 people get a share each, and then after 5 to 8 years, everyone gets for each share about 6 bottles. And that is a very, very good thing. STR, I think, are 225, so I'm going to actually go up a couple, maybe 5 people more are going to be involved in that, or 3 people. We'll see what happens there. Cool. Question number 1. Would you actually ever buy a cask in Scotland yourself? Yes or no? Why or why not? Question number 2, would you ever participate in a cask share program? Now, I'm not trying to win you or sell it to you because I have too many people anyways that want to participate in my cask shares already. And number 3 is why would you like to actually be part of have a cask or be part of a cask share? I know just a special little feeling of, hey, I have a cask at the moment in Ireland, Republic and Northern Ireland. I have different casks here in Germany. I'm going to have a cask now, my first one in Scotland. And this feeling of just, oh, look, I can go visit one day. I'm going to go, look, my cask, and it's maturing there. And that's so very nice. I will be getting maybe 2 casks this year for bourbon, but I will not have them actually sitting around, but I'll be barrel picked, so they'll be finished. And as soon as we pick them, they're going to be bottled and sent over here to Europe, and that's going to be something that I'm going to really look forward to as well. See what happens there with New Riff, see what happens there with Sagamore, see what happens there also with... forgot the other distillery. There's 3 different ones I'm looking at right now. We'll see what happens there. All the best. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Please watch out for the next video where I test the Man of Sword. That would be exactly the same thing here. Bourbon STR with peated from Annandale. I just love their products, and I love the distillery, and I love their story. So hopefully I could actually encourage you to look more into this distillery and see when it's going to hit the shores of your country. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare single cask whiskeys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.